Hi, this is a video to show you that how you can import your data. What we need for this is now we need to install a software named Postman to import the data. This is actually to test the API. Using this software, we can import data to your server. So let me show you where you can find it. Just simply go to Google and search for Postman and see the first website. This is postman.com, and you can find the software for your distribution. Like I'm using Linux, so yeah, I'll go here and I can download from here. You will see a button for your based on your distribution, like if you have Windows or Mac. Okay, so it's not that difficult to install it, and after installation you will see it will ask you for registration. You just skip it, and after that you can just have something like this and create a new request. Just go to here, new. You should select HTTP request, then you should enter the URL. So for us, the URL should be, check it. Suppose we want to see all the candidates we have. For this one, if you want to see all the candidates, we can hit for this URL. Just to give me a second. This is actually get request. So if we send the request to here, sending request, you see the same data we are receiving here also. So it's working. So now let me get to the main point. Okay, so we need to add the data of this for collection. Okay, so for this type table, our API should look like this. Just give me a second. And since we are importing data, that means we are doing post request, HTTP request. We should change the request type from get to post. By default, you will see it get request. We will have to change it manually. Okay, so now here you should paste the URL address. So for type table, the URL should be, this part is same for every URL, every API. We have to change the rest of it. So for the type table, the URL should be this types.new. So you can create a new type with this post request, and the API URL should be this. Don't worry, I will send you all the API with its description in a text file, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, then in the body here we'll have to pass the data. Make sure it is JSON format and select raw. Okay, so how you can send JSON data? Just use curly braces, enter. Then the data is serial number and election type. Okay, so give me a second. Okay, so first we have to input the serial number. I've already imported these three, so I'm going to add this one. Copy, go to the Postman, type. Make sure you're typing exactly the same while I'm typing here. So first two letter is small, then N, then the O is small also. So it is camel case actually. Semicolon. Then within the quotation you have to paste the data. We have to add another field, that is election type. Okay, so again it will be camel case. Election type, copy it from here, selection type, okay, paste it. So we only have these two fields in this election in this type table. So if you're done with this part, just click on send. It will send the data to the MongoDB server and you can see it. After sending it, give me let's just send it. You see the new field has been created, and if you just check our database, we can do it from here. Okay, so this is actually the get API where you can see all the types of this table. So this will be again this part is same for everything, just you need to change the second part, types /all. If you send this get request, it will show us all the types available in our database. See, we have four set of data. This one I just added, and those three you see here was added before. So you can add the data of type table, this, and I'm going to show you how you can import the AC data. Okay, again there will be two fields, serial number and assembly blah blah. Okay, and the URL is, let me copy it, paste it. It's be ACs, I'm sorry, and all. So I've already imported some data. So by hitting this request, this get request, we can see all the data available in our ACS table. See, we already have two data available. Now I'm going to create a new data. So it should be a post request, and instead of all we will have to paste new. This is the new data, and very similar in the body, then row, then change it to JSON, and this information should be curly braces. Hit enter. Then we have to paste the data. See, we have already updated two fields, so the next one is this one. So this is this field and serial number. So first is serial number. Remember, you have to put exactly what I'm putting right now, so you should not make any typo here. So first is serial number, that is 3 for this field, comma, second quotation. Now this one is assembly constituency or something like that. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing wrong. Okay, so this is the key, and the value is this. Okay, paste it. So now we can send the request. See, we have created a new data. So if we just see, we had two data available here, but after creating another data, we have three data available here. See, the new one is here. Okay, so this is how we can create the AC data. Now let's go to candidate wise. So here we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 fields, and two fields is election ID, AC ID. So we already have election ID, and we don't need to pass this data. We just need to pass these tables ID. Okay, so let me show you. This is not very confusing. First, let me show you all the candidates. So these are the candidates available. I have actually imported this first candidate. So this is a GET request. Okay, so this is the candidate. This is an array actually. You will see all the candidates once you imported all of them. So so what we need to do is create a post request to import new data, candidate/new. Okay, in the body, select raw, then JSON. Okay. Now we need to pass all the fields here. So how many fields we have? We have 7 fields in total. The first one is candidate ID. So what was the candidate ID? Remember, we have already imported this first one. I did it. So for you need to add the second one first. I mean, you will need to add the third one. I'm adding the second one too. So candidate ID is 2. Another field, that is election ID. Okay, here's the election ID. Remember, we already have the election ID table that is in type. So since this is the election ID in all the fields, you just need to pass only this one's ID, right? So where we can find that? We already have all types request, right? Types all. So here is all the election ID. So this is the first one. This is the one we're looking for, right? You see. So we need to grab the ID of this one. This is the ID. Copy it, and in the candidate post request, in the field of election ID, we just have to paste this candidate ID. Okay. The third field is AC ID, and what we have in the AC ID field is also 2. Then we have name, that is okay. Then we have party. What's the name of the party? BJP. That's a popular party. Then we have candidate, and that is okay, Praveen Arlekar. Nice name, by the way. Then votes, this is a number, so we don't need to put the votes in quotation mark. Just type it as number. So 13063. Okay, so these are the 7 fields we have to put here. And if we just send a post request here, there will be new data. So right now we have one candidate. You see, only have one candidate. So after sending this request, we will have 2 candidates in our database. Send it. New candidates created. If we send this get request again, you will see the changes. See, we now have 2 data available in our array. Okay, let me make sure you only have 2. So 1 and 2. Okay, perfect. So let's move forward to party wise. Again, this table has like 1, 2, 3, 4 data field, and we have election ID as well. So we just need to pass this ID's ID, the similar thing we did for candidate. Okay, again, let's just see all the parties available. So we just need to type party dash all. Okay, so I already imported 2 parties. You see, I have added the another column here, updated, put yes in the value. So I have already updated these 2 fields. Now it's time to do for the third one. Okay, so in the for this, give me a second. So in order to create a new party, we will have to make it post request, and also need to change the post URL. So this will be party / create. I'm sorry, this one is have a little change. It should be create. Okay, and in the body section, select raw, make it JSON. First we have the party ID, right? Give me a second, please. Okay, so party ID, that is 3. Then election ID, remember that is an ID. Give me a second, let me grab this ID. Since we have all the same election ID for all the fields, so we need to pass the same ID for every data. So this is the election ID. Grab it, pasted it. Then the party name. What is the party name? This one is GFP, right? Yeah, GFP. Perfect. And then the result. What is the result? This is a number. So the result is 1. Put 1. Perfect. We can send the request now, and immediately we will see. Right now we had we had 2 parties available, so after sending the request we will have 3 parties available. Let's send it. Okay, new party created. Here is all the party. Send the request, and see we have 3 parties. Okay, so now let's get to the main part. For the party, we need to get one party with the election ID as parameter. So how we can do that? Again, this one should be a post request. Post. Let me grab the URL. Post. And here we will have to change it from create to party. So party/party to get one party. In the body section, select row, again Json, and as election ID put this election ID, since it's same for everyone. So after sending this request, you will see all the parties available with this election ID. So since election ID is same for everyone, we will have all the 3 data available, just like the get request before. Send it. See, we have 3 parties available with this election ID. As you requested that we should have all other fields not available in the response, so only party name and result should be here. See, AP, BJP and GFP. Let's come to the candidate wise. So for the candidate wise, we have to pass 2 parameters, candidates /candidate. So this is our URL, and in the request parameter we will need to pass 2 parameters. Just give me a second. The first parameter is AC ID, and the second parameter is election ID. So let's see, we'll have to grab this first one. So AC ID is 1, and always the election ID is same for everyone. So okay, yeah. So now if we hit the send request button, we'll see the candidate with this AC ID and election ID. Let's send it. Here you go. So this, you see this one, name, party, candidate and votes. Okay, also you can do it from your front-end application. I mean, you will build a mobile application as far I know. So you just need to send the request in this URL with the parameter available, this ACID and election ID. You will see this data. Okay, I think I have made it clear. So if you still have some confusion, feel free to ask me. I will answer it, no problem. And also we'll need to change the database. Currently I'm using my MongoDB, so you should use your own, so that in future you don't need to worry about the data. Okay, thank you, bye.